Hina was saying one of the kind of the big growth points would be just kind of focusing when you have the lead and maintaining that confidence. And what, I guess, how do you preach that? How do you teach that?
Well, I think you just have to experience it, and we did experience. But I thought both games up there in Portland were kind of the same. We controlled really the first three quarters, and then both teams caught us. The first night we weren't able to make the plays, and they did, and especially we didn't make the plays at the defensive end. But then I think we grew up a little bit, and then on Sunday did make the plays against Michigan State. So, but very similar games, a lot of points too, which is good on the offensive end. But we got to do a better job defensively. We can't be giving up over 80 a game.
With a lot of your team being freshmen and newcomers playing major roles, how crucial is it going to be to go far in this season and do well in the Pac-12 with them having to grow up really, really fast and gain as much experience before that starts? Yeah,
well, by the time we get to Pac-12 play, those freshmen will have 10 or 12 games under their belt. I guess this year is kind of unique because we play Oregon State so early, but I could still consider Pac-12 play, sometime in January. But it is the lot that we've been given, and so we just gotta, we gotta play through that. We're gonna make some mistakes, but in the end, we have really good senior or experienced guards. I was saying the other day between Elise Hurst and Tahina and Taya and India, that's 17 years of college experience there in the backcourt. So in the end, I think we got to rely on them. They're the ones that have to kind of set the tone for everybody else. But it'll be a process.
How have you seen those guards in particular kind of develop in the pick and roll? It seemed like, especially against Carolina, there was a lot of success early in kind of getting Grace and Philly involved that way.
Yeah, I actually kind of like what we're doing offensively. I think we've been pretty efficient. We've turned it over a little bit more than I'd like in a couple of the games, but our field goal percentage is great. Our assisted field goals is really good, which means we're moving the basketball. We're getting Philly. Seems like the first play of every game is kind of a layup for Philly out of some kind of pick and roll action. We're continuing to get better there, but I like where we're at. I think, to be honest with you, our guards are being a little too unselfish. I think they're passing up, that little floater, the little pull up in the paint out of pick and roll action. And we continue to encourage them to take that shot when it's there. That's a good shot. So offensively, I have no issues right now. It's at the defensive end. We just got to be a little bit better.
So where do you need to get better? What do you need to improve?
Well, I think our second chance points a little too high. It's not like really bad, but we've got to get better there. I think we're getting beat off penetration too much, and then what happens? I think we're doing a good job of helping when somebody gets beat, but then we're not doing as good a job in helping the helper. Okay, that rotation. I don't know. I don't know any other way to explain it better than that. Just little, in key moments, I thought our defense let us down. We went under a screen instead of over on number 10 from North Carolina, and she hit the three right in our face, and then went on to hit 3 or 4 others. But just kind of letdowns at the wrong moments. And again, it goes back to the youth. We've got to figure that out at some point. We will.
What you're describing sounds like the sorts of things you might anticipate being able to work through these next few weeks before you get to conference play.
Yeah. I'm not saying we got to grow a couple inches. We have to get faster, quicker in all these spots. It's just a matter of, just team growth on the defensive end.
Seems like Tahina kind of knew that they kind of gave up the lead in that North Carolina game in the fourth quarter. So the players are very aware that they are fully capable of playing with some of the best teams in the country. Do you feel like going to Portland, playing those tough teams, have kind of given them a little confidence, a little bit of reassurance that we're good, we can be good, we just have to make sure we work hard?
Yeah, I went away from the weekend more encouraged than discouraged. Obviously, we would have liked to have won both. We were in a position and could have won both, but we didn't. But we learned from the first game and played better in the second game when it mattered. But overall, I thought that was a good weekend for us. Again, we scored a bunch, so we can score against good teams. It's just the defense has got to get better. But no, I'm pleased. And this week, Portland's going to be really good. They're a really good team. We beat them one possession last year at their place. And then it's, of course, the Beavers. We got a couple more home games, and we go to San Diego for 2 more Power 5 teams. So this stretch is going to be really, really difficult. We're going to have a lot of games like we did up in Portland.
How do you structure these couple of weeks, Kelly, knowing that, yes, you do have the one game this week, but you have also, like, they have finals next week. I'm sure there's certain restrictions by way of how much you practice and stuff, but what do you look to get across then in this one game in 12-ish days?
Well, we played Sunday morning, so we had most of Sunday off, and then we took yesterday off, or Monday off, and then yesterday we just came in and shot last night. Today was really our first practice since then, and it was a short one, just an hour and a half today. Tomorrow will be a little bit longer, and then next week we'll give them probably 3 days off total. They are student athletes in that order, and so finals. The one thing, and you know me, I've never used finals as an excuse. A lot of coaches like to. Well, we play other college teams, and everybody has finals about the same time, and so they are experiencing the same thing. So I just think it's really important not to push them too hard during finals. I think getting a good sweat, a short, aggressive, tough practice can be good because you can sweat out some of your anxiety, so to speak, from tests and studying. But yeah, this time of year, I think just days off.
Philly had such a size advantage last weekend, but Portland, Lucy Cochran, the player you coach, she's like 6'6", little size. Kind of excited to see how she matches up with someone closer to her size, because that's something you'll see more in conference play.
Yeah, I am. I was really impressed with Philly. Obviously the 16 rebounds, 15 points are great. She left a couple of baskets out there. I reminded her of that today. But I was most impressed with the fact she played 30 minutes and played good 30 quality minutes. Didn't seem to be tired or anything like that. And I thought that's a big step in her growth. I think Lucy, we love Lucy. I think she just realized with all that one class that was coming in, it may be a little tough for her, but she's had a nice career at Portland. It'll be a good match. She's got great timing inside. Now, Philly, I think, is stronger, and a little bit bigger. But, Lucy is going to be a formidable foe for her. It'll be fun watching those two. I hope, obviously, Philly gets the better of her, but that'll be a good matchup.
What else do you see with UP? Obviously, last 2 years, they gave you guys pretty good games.
Yeah. Well, they're really aggressive defensively, and so they're going to pick us up full court. And against Michigan State, we showed that we had some issues with the full court pressure. So we've got to clean that up. We've got all week to do that, though. They're organized. They play really hard. I think Mike does an awesome job up there. He really does. And then they've got some star power. Fowler is a heck of a player. I mean, she could play in any roster in the Pac-12 and be a good player on any of our teams. And then I think they're getting their point guard back. I think they played a night, so we'll see. But I think she's back. And Haley Andrews, she's a really good player. A really good player. All first team all conference in that conference multiple times. So they're going to be back at full strength. We've got our work cut out for us.